Royce. It's great to see you. And I guess
Hey,
first
Ethan.
of all, I'm wondering the backups for the Thunder and
hmm
Maynard, the Maynard-led backups, did quite well often when Westbrook was on the bench. Do you see that in any way as an indictment of Westbrook's style of play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of that stems a lot from Game Two of the Western Conference Finals, where Maynard played the entire fourth quarter, and Oklahoma City not just kept a lead, but kind of increased the lead. And there's times where Eric Maynard looks like a better point guard than Russell Westbrook. There's times that he looks like a better fit, and that's led a lot of people to believe that the so-called whatever it is true point guard would be a lot better fit in Oklahoma City. Whether it's a Rondo or a Chris Paul, but that style of point guard that's more of a setup first kind of guy. The problem with that is that you can get away with that when you're not relying, when you have a second scorer to kind of supplement Durant. But right now, Russell Westbrook's that guy. He's the only guy Oklahoma City has. Harden's great. He's a great creator, but he's not really ready to shoulder that complete second scorer scoring load that Russell Westbrook can. I mean, Oklahoma City would not have been in the Western Conference Finals without Russell Westbrook scoring 25 points a game. I mean, that's just reality. I don't know if James Harden would have been capable of handling that sort of load last postseason. But in terms, I mean, in small segments, with a small sample size, there are times that Eric Maynard absolutely looks like a better fit at point guard than Russell Westbrook. But like I said, that's just sometimes you get good Russell, you get bad Russell, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, I mean, with keeping that in mind, if we would play a little bit of hypothetical fantasy basketball, let's say you heard that Dwight Howard, if he came to the Thunder, would actually resign there, despite it not being L.A. Would
Right.
you do a package of Westbrook and say Perkins for Dwight Howard and a resign? Would you do that?
Man, that's a really interesting question because that's something that a lot of Thunder fans have thought before. I remember Dwight Howard said after like a Team USA camp, like this was like 2 years ago, but he said like one player I'd love to play with was Kevin Durant, and so that led every Thunder fan to start like putting together. We all jumped on the trade machine there and started putting together offers to see how you could get Dwight Howard, and at this point, like everybody has that emotional attachment to their own roster, and you overvalue your own players. I think probably Russell Westbrook's a lot better than a lot of other people do. He's not Dwight Howard good, obviously, but to me, I don't know. I don't. I almost feel like obviously a team with Kevin Durant and Dwight Howard is a really good fit, but I feel like Kevin Durant does need that secondary scorer that's going to take the load off of him. Um, I don't know what team would have a better chance of winning an NBA title. I feel like I'm an idiot sitting here saying that a team with Kevin Durant and Dwight Howard wouldn't be better or would be better than a team with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. But I'm trying to think of it as in terms of a team that what team would win a title in Oklahoma City. And I think each would have an equal opportunity to do something like that. And I don't really know which one would be better off.
Well, that's an honest answer to that question. I'm wondering when you say that it's good that Westbrook takes the load off Durant a little bit. Is that another way of saying that Durant has some issues creating his own shot? And
Oh, yeah.
if we're buying that premise, do you see Durant getting better at that going forward substantially, or do you see him as primarily a
Well,
catch and shoot guy going forward?
yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, that's what Dallas did in those last really 4 games is that they understood that they're going to bracket Kevin Durant, play him really rough and physical, and basically put the ball in the hands of Russell Westbrook and make him either pass Durant open or for Durant to just somehow get off. I mean, the thing is that Kevin Durant's he's gotten a lot stronger, but he's still not strong, and he doesn't understand completely how to create space without pushing off. And
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't really understand how to get loose to somebody without basically fouling. And so, one thing that would really help Oklahoma City and help Russell Westbrook as a point guard if Durant could get open more. And really, the only way that Oklahoma City, within their structure, whether it's Scott Brooks' fault or anybody else's, is to run Durant along the baseline, have him curl off a screen. And to Oklahoma City's credit, I mean, they have two of the best screeners in the game in Nick Collison and Kendrick Perkins. But I mean, it's hard to get open when you got a guy like Tony Allen or Shane Battier on your hip. I mean, that screen doesn't always get you open. So Oklahoma City would be helped a lot, and Russell Westbrook would be helped a lot if Kevin Durant could get open more and create his own shot a little bit better.
Yeah, I hate it when Tony Allen's on my hip. I guess one more question for me, which is I had an interesting argument with Ziller on. I guess it's my belief that although Durant is a fantastic player, the lack of multifaceted skills, it doesn't make sense. The unidimensionality, to sound pretentious, of his skill
that makes
set,
a lot more sense.
it will. That he is a one-dimensional
Unidimensionality,
player in certain respects,
Okay.
although, a fantastic one-dimensional player will keep him from becoming the best player. And Ziller's retort is that specialization isn't a bad thing, and by being the best specialist, he could become the best player that way. Where do you stand on that? Do you see Kevin Durant ever becoming the best player in the league?
Well, I think everybody agrees that LeBron is the best player in the league because of how unidimensional or whatever, how multifaceted his game is. I mean, he can do everything. He can defend, pass, score. The only thing LeBron really lacks in is a jump shooting game, and he's just inconsistent in that. I mean, he's a decent shooter. He's just inconsistent with his shot. I think everybody wants their best players, the best players in the league, to be well-rounded. I mean, Michael Jordan, for being a great scorer, for being a guy that averaged 37 points a game in a season, he averaged still 4 rebounds, 4 assists in that realm for his career. So, I mean, he was a really well-rounded player. The thing Kevin Durant has said is that he really wants to be a guy that averages 4 or 5 assists a game. Right now, he's not. He's a guy instead that averages more turnovers than he does assists, and he recognizes that that's a problem. So I think if you ask Kevin Durant this question, he would agree with you, Ethan. I think he would say, I'm not going to be one of the best players in the game or the best player in the game until I get better in other areas, until I become a better defender, which he's improved quite a bit at, but until he becomes a guy that can create shots for others, and until he's a guy that you can rely on to finish the game out in the fourth quarter, which he's very close to that, but he's not entirely in the realm of a lot of other closers in the league.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for sharing your insight there. And I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Spurs, Mavericks, Lakers, who has the best record this year?
I'm going to say out of those three, I'm going to say the Lakers do, just because I don't really have a good reason I could give you one. Kobe's real good, but I just, it feels like the Mavericks and the Spurs.
We got a bunch of tall guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They got, good arena or whatever. But, at some point it does feel like that the Spurs and Mavericks have to finally kind of start coming back down. I mean, they are getting older. It just seems like at some point that's going to happen. I don't know if 60 wins is going to be the best in the West this year, but I could definitely see the Lakers, ripping off. Not 60 wins, I guess. There's 66 games for crying out loud.
Well, that would definitely be the best record.
What's the equivalent
That'd
of
be
a
a hell of a
61 season?
season.
Anybody good at math? What's that like?
Like 52, 51.
Okay.
Something
like that.
Yeah.
Zach
But,
has
I
no
would,
idea what the hell he's talking about.
Just threw those numbers out there.
28? I don't know.
Oh, like 51, 52, I don't
He's
know.
reading a serial number off of his router.
Well, anyway, yeah, I'd just say Lakers.
This
That's
is
it.
Doubt Fire. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Royce. We'll catch you later, man.
I appreciate it, guys.